Actually, I guess this kind of connects both the topics of my channel, which is mainly comic books and comic book movie stuff, and um, comic book movie news. It turns out The Rock just tweeted he's been cast in, or he's just finishing up talks to be cast in a role for a DC Comics adaptation for 2014. Um, at DC Comics 2014, we will partner up and create the cool badassery. Now, obviously, speculation immediately is going to be raised as to who exactly is The Rock going to play. I'm hoping personally, not because I think he's the best actor for it, but I'm hoping that it is a Shazam stroke 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 Black Adam film. I'm really hoping that they go with this character finally, because I think, to be honest, I really do think Shazam is one of those things with such untapped potential, and I think if DC did a film of Shazam, it could end up making them a lot of money. It really could. I mean, it's got that, obviously you've got the little boy Billy Batson who becomes a superhero, and it really does have that vibe of, Harry Potter or Percy Jackson, or, all of these films, and especially because it deals with a lot with Greek and ancient mythology as well, so there's all of that tied into it. And for me, it would just make much more sense. The other thing that they're saying it might be is Lobo, and I have no idea why anyone... I don't even think Lobo's selling that well at the moment in the New 52, so I have really no idea why DC or why The Rock would want to play, or Dwayne Johnson would want to play Lobo. It just doesn't... I don't think it would do that well. I don't think it would do him very well. If it flops, it's much more likely. I really do think as a vehicle for him, it's much more of a risk to do Lobo than it is. I don't think Lobo will go over well. I don't think it will be big. I think Captain Marvel, especially if you have it as that kind of kids film, and especially it's one of those things you could release in summer, you can release in Christmas. It doesn't matter when you release that movie. You've got the kid who's got the superpowers, or who's given superpowers by the wizard Shazam. You could just frame it in that way as one of those big, summer blockbusters for, family films. And the latest graphic novel by Jeff Johns is just perfect for a movie. It's dark and edgy enough to capture the imagination of adults, but it's still it's G-rated enough for it to be like a kind of kids/adults movie. I think it would be a wasted opportunity, especially... I mean, I don't personally want The Rock to play Black Adam. I'd like a slightly... Sorry, man, I know you're the great one and everything, but I'd like a slightly better actor. I don't know, to play Black Adam. Maybe he'd be good. I mean, nothing Dwayne Johnson does surprises me anymore. I mean, he's such a talented individual. I mean, to go from professional wrestling to be one of the biggest actors, in Hollywood is pretty amazing. So I take nothing away from him, at all. It's just that he's a certain type of actor, and yeah, he's not, he wasn't brought up an actor. He was brought up a professional wrestler. So it's a very different type of skill, but. He's taken every role he's done seriously, and I think he's good. I don't think he's great, but I think he's good. Which is saying a lot if you look at the history of professional wrestlers who've tried to get into acting. Some of them have been awful, really bad. So he's very good for what he does. So yeah, I mean, who are you hoping it will be? I mean, let's make this a bit more interactive. Who are you, if Dwayne The Rock Johnson could play any character in the DC universe, who would it be? Are you happy about The Rock actually, you know, getting this role? Do you think it could go to somebody else? Sorry, are you happy about The Rock entering the DC universe? Do you want him to be anything to do with the Justice League, for instance? I mean, I don't know if I'd want that energy there. Another thing that is possible, could he possibly be either a new version of Hal Jordan, or could he be John Stewart, Green Lantern? Could it be a reboot of Green Lantern? Is that where they're going? To be honest, I'd prefer him in that role, because the Green Lantern isn't a big stretch for Dwayne Johnson. I think Black Adam, it takes a slightly more sophisticated type of actor, and I think Lobo is a bad decision, because at the moment his stock is on the rise in Hollywood, and I really wish him all the best. He's one of my favourite wrestlers as well. So yeah, I know I'm a geek. I like wrestling. So his stock is on the rise at the moment, and I think Lobo, I don't really think it would do that. I don't know what if there's a really big, you know, I don't think Lobo as a character is really broken out into the public imagination. I don't think he's very well known. You know, if you ask your average person on the street like who Lobo is in comparison to who Captain Marvel or Shazam is, I think more people would be aware of Shazam than they would be Lobo. So I think it would be, yeah, slightly risky for him to try and take on a character like that. In my opinion, I think you know, something like Captain, and I'd be so happy even if, you know, they could get a better actor to play Black Adam. The fact that they took a risk on Shazam, who is one of the best superheroes out there, so cool as a superhero. I think that would be really interesting. Rebooting Green Lantern, if he plays Green Lantern, I could see that being badass. Because again, it wouldn't take a stretch for him to act. That's kind of his character anyway. I mean, if you go back and watch The Rock, or you go back, you know, and you see him in interviews, he's got that kind of swagger to him anyway. I could see him as either Hal Jordan, although people might be up in arms. I don't think people will be up in arms about Dwayne Johnson, because he's so likable that, you know, people don't mind if he's not that great an actor. They're like, oh, okay, it's Dwayne Johnson, that's cool, he can do whatever he wants, he was The Rock. Straight up. Peace. So, you know, people just always have that mad respect for Dwayne Johnson, so he can kind of get away with doing anything. But as I said, I think you know, the racial thing might come up with Hal Jordan, and people might be like, oh, but Hal Jordan's white. But I still can see them working a way around that, because, you know, he's light skinned, maybe a mixed race Hal Jordan or something like that. Or John Stewart. I can see him doing either, and I think that would be his best option in terms of a DC character, in terms of who he'd be able to play well. Who I would like is definitely Shazam, and him playing Black Adam, just because that means one of my favourite characters will come to screen, and I can't see how they can fuck up Shazam. I just really can't. I mean, the blueprint's there. I know Jeff Johns will have a lot to do with it, so I just can't see how they can fuck up a Shazam movie. So that's what I'm hoping for. As I said, like, subscribe, let me know what your thoughts are, what you think, who you think Dwayne The Rock Johnson should play, and hope you're having a happy New Year, and yeah, happy New Year and Merry Christmas to all you guys. Thanks very much.